Welcome to the Chatline. I'm Emily,
And I'm Missy.
and we're talking about celebrity drama, the latest news you need to know in our own crazy lives, because we're the in-law duo you didn't know you needed.
Yes, I love that. It is. I give you all the credit for that. And I will tell you that messenger you sent me about like the daughter-in-law talking to the mother-in-law about, being besties. That was the cutest thing. I don't know what we could tell people to look up of where they would find it because it's just so cute.
It's that trend where it's like, well, I'm definitely your best friend.
I was trying to describe it to somebody and I said, it's super cute daughter-in-law is like, we're besties, right? We're besties. We're besties. I said, and then it pans to the mother-in-law. And I said, she does not have a cigarette hanging out of her mouth. I said, but that's the vibe. I said, she is the but I was also telling somebody that I always feel like I'm the daughter-in-law in that, right? Because I'm like, Emily, wait, we like each other, right? Right.
It's good then that we both feel that way, and not one of us is like, well, yeah, that's great for you.
Yeah, 100%.
I can't remember what we talked about last week versus what I've sent you on like Messenger or Facebook, but the Blake Lively drama has
Yes.
escalated yet another step.
Yes. And I was telling you that I had written down, well, I've been sending you stuff too, because I was honestly staying out of it. I was like, it is too much for me to handle and for me to catch up on. And I'm like, whatever a podcaster wants to tell me about it, okay, and that's kind of what I was finding my information with. But then you started sending me stuff and I was like, wow. And then I would start sending you stuff. And I was telling you before we started recording that I think it was like Monday, I had a definite opinion that was different than what I do this morning.
And new stuff just keeps coming out, which makes me think, so like the whole drama was like, oh, there's a PR campaign to, smear their name or smear their name. I wonder if that's still going on and maybe that's the true truth and they're just going at it. But I don't know. There's some stuff in there that I'm curious to know what you are, because I think I've swapped from last week on my current opinion on it. I was like, oh, Blake went through this. She was like, advocating. And now I'm like, no, she has lied. And Justin, I feel like he is now the one who is wrongfully accused of stuff. What is your opinion?
Okay.
Is it
Well, sort of, kind of. I think we're both going to just keep flipping and flopping back and forth. Okay. So full credit to the Bravo Docket podcast. If you are just into the legal stuff that goes on like in pop culture, they're really good because they get in there and they read the actual legal documents, right? And they kind of skip over the mumbo jumbo that the average person, me, can't understand, right? And kind of helps us wade through what has actually been filed to the court. So what really got me when I listened to them the other day was the timing of all of this. And so according to them and according to the court documents, there was the writer's strike, I believe, that kind of shut down production of the movie. That is, can you remind me, is it called This Is Us or This Was Us?
It Ends With Us.
It Ends With Us. Okay.
Yeah.
So that movie was shut down for about a month because of the writer's strike. And so before she would go back onto the set, she had like an addendum to their contract that specified not only for her, but for everybody in that workplace that certain things wouldn't happen, that has been accused of, like the sexual harassment, the inappropriate videos, the talking about pornography, the walking in on the breastfeeding, which I think there's some controversy there. But I mean, that's just what the document said to my understanding.
Yeah.
And so this addendum to their contract, also about like an intimacy coach, right? There's a lot of stuff with there was no, the person that is always supposed to be on set.
Yeah.
If nudity or sex scenes, I mean, there's supposed to be someone there for your protection.
Right.
My understanding is that wasn't provided. And so she was requesting that and different things like this before she would go back on set and finish the movie.
Okay.
And so my understanding is that the company, which Justin owns, directs, whatever, all that, agreed to it. They did not say we did it. They agreed to it to get her back on set and to finish the movie. is my understanding.
Okay.
So Blake never leaked that contract. She never said anything about these special requests, went back, finished the movie, and she was going to be done. But they have proof that Justin went after her in retaliation. And that's when he hired the PR firm before, she never said anything publicly.
Yeah.
Well, what the Bravo docket girls were saying is that any person who makes a sexual harassment claim, it is the law that you cannot retaliate in any way, whether the accusations are true or not.
Like from a director standpoint, you can't retaliate, like your work environment, or
and you could not retaliate. Like if you made a sexual harassment claim against me, which, I mean, dear God, I would never, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like even though say that it was completely false or completely true, doesn't matter. According to the law, I cannot retaliate against you in any way. I can't fire you. I can't go on social media and say bad things about you. Do you know what I'm saying? So they were saying, the Bravo docket girls were saying that he's really messed up because there's all this proof about his retaliation. Whether or not the accusations are true or not, there is a real legitimate legal claim against him because of all this PR stuff that he did, which is obvious retaliation.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's your reputation matters even if you're just, like a regular person, you and me. But when you are like a A-list, B-list celebrity, or you're trying to get up into the celebrity, hire more actresses, be with more actors, that kind of thing. It's and I think we talked about this last week. If you are just rumored to be difficult to work with, then they won't even. Yes. They won't even okay, then find someone else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I had always thought or assumed that once you hit a certain level in Hollywood, you could act ever how you wanted. And I'm kind of glad to know that's not true. And I'm just going to put this out here. It's probably a little different for men. Can we just be real and honest? But I would say as a woman, you have to stay sweet, keep sweet, as certain would say. But yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
But okay, so that's what I heard, right? And I was like, oh my lands, the timing of that makes me believe Blake. And so I was fully on Blake's side. I'm like, I don't know what else, but the timing just made sense to me that I was on Blake's side. But then I've been hearing all this stuff about Ryan Reynolds.
Yes.
So now I'm confused again.
Yeah. Okay. So that's what I kind of have been watching this week is the Ryan Reynolds side of it. And yeah, okay. I'm going to say this before I get into it.
Okay.
I think the true truth is that the Blake Lively, the Justin Baldoni, I think there are problems on both sides and both have done something because the way that neither one of them are backing down, it's very interesting. And my personal prediction is that this is going to be when this actually goes to court and when this actually the trial starts or whatever, if it gets to that point, because they're both suing each other, right?
That's my understanding. Yeah.
When that happens, I think it's going to be bigger than the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
My word. That was the craziest stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. I think this is because even though Justin Baldoni is not as well known as Blake Lively is, I think it's gonna blow up. I think it's gonna be crazy and it's gonna be everywhere for a hot minute. That's my prediction. But, okay, the stuff that I was reading about Ryan, so we know that Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively got together while Ryan Reynolds was still married to Scarlett Johansson. They had a little affair there, which is crazy to think about. And it was because she was his co-star in Green Lantern, which, what a movie.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I never finished that movie. I'm just being completely honest. I started it, but if so, I was asleep. And I apologize. I actually like Ryan Reynolds, but that was just not my type of movie, I guess.
Yeah. So he's very funny because we love Detective Pikachu. We love that movie.
Love that movie. Yeah. Seriously, if you have not seen Detective Pikachu, I'm going to digress for just a minute.
Yeah.
I remember, my youngest son and I went to the theater to see it. I know nothing about Pikachu. I know nothing about detectives. Do you know what I'm saying? And I was like, this would be something that Gabe and I can do together. And he was honestly kind of the same way. He's like, yeah, mom wants to do this with me. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll go and have this time with mom at the theater. I'll get, some nachos out of it or whatever. And so we both came out of that movie bug-eyed in the best way, saying that was probably one of the best movies we have ever seen.
It's
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
I think it's on a streaming service. Yeah, you need to go watch it if you haven't.
Yeah. Yes, for sure. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
But so we like Ryan Reynolds, but
Mhm.
the things that I've seen have been that Blake and Justin. This is and I don't have any like reliable sources other than what I'm seeing like on TikTok or Facebook or whatever. Whereas you have like the docket girls who like are gonna like read through the documents. So this is gonna be taken with a grain of salt. But everything that is coming out is like, oh, well, Blake had this like emotional affair with him. Like she was like really into him. She was falling for him. She like had fallen in love with Justin and he did not reciprocate that. And when he didn't reciprocate that and Ryan Reynolds, okay, pause again. I heard that these were called dailies where it's just raw footage from the day and then like they go through and cut it out. So one of the scenes Ryan Reynolds had like apparently like come onto the set, had seen because of his status, he's an A-list celebrity. He can kind of, watch stuff that maybe normal people wouldn't be allowed to see.
Right.
And he did not like what was going on in the dailies and went to Blake's trailer. There was an argument had. No one knows what the argument was about, but it was a long argument. And they came out from that. And ever since that moment, Ryan was like on set all the time, always like giving like even though Justin is the director, or, the directing team, whatever that looks like, Ryan had been like saying like, no, you need to do this, no, you need to do this, you need to do that kind of thing. And was like trying to shut it down. And given him and Blake's history, he has every right to be worried about Blake and a co-star that she might have fallen for. Because they are, even though it's a very toxic relationship in the movie, and, like she ends up, I think it's a book too by Colleen Hoover, so you can read it if you don't want to watch the movie. But like even though that relationship's toxic, they are in like a love scenario together.
Do you know what I've actually heard, Emily?
What?
I wish I could remember who said this. It was an actress.
Okay.
And oh my word, I wish I could remember. But she actually said that you have to have a better trust relationship with someone that you are arguing with or fighting with on script, even more than like the traditional love story, because you have to trust that they're not going to take it too far or, hurt you like literally in some way.
Yeah.
So that's interesting to think about with this scenario.
Yeah, because that's both. It is they're fighting and then also they're wow.
Have you seen the movie?
I haven't seen the movie, but I've like looked up the like plot summary.
Right.
Yeah. Have you seen the movie? Have you read the book?
No, and I don't intend to.
Yeah.
I am a happily ever after.
Yeah.
Everybody's having a great day.
Yeah.
I watch things to escape to good places. I understand the appeal of just wanting to feel the emotion and, be with these people. But I am one of those types of people that carry it with me for years. Like I read a book by Jojo, my word, Moyes, oh my word, where anyway, it was talking about someone deciding like whether to end their life, like they had been very active, and I'm going to have to look it up. So you hang on, because I don't want to ruin this, but I was sobbing so hard that my husband was like, are you okay? I'm like, yes, it's the best book I've ever read in my life. I mean, so I do get it, but if I had known what that book was going to be before, I think it's like Me Before You.
Oh, yes. Oh my gosh. That is such a good book. I read that book when it came out. I might have been in 5th grade.
Yeah. Me Before You.
Yeah. And my parents were like, yes, she's reading. We're so happy she's reading. They had no idea what I was reading.
Yeah. And listen, I've never watched the movie because I don't want it to ruin that experience that I had with the book. I know that sounds wild, but So I do understand why people go to like sad movies or,
Yeah.
because, but just no, I do not plan on watching the movie. I'm assuming it's rated R,
I
just the
mean,
way I've been
it
probably.
should.
And I've heard there's like some nudity. And so I'm like, I'm confused.
Sure. Well, I think it was supposed to be, a very like revealing and encouraging and like bring light to, toxic relationships, domestic violence, that kind of thing. And then now it's kind of turned into this whole like Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni, crazy stuff. But okay, this is another thing I've seen about the whole situation. So Blake Lively and Taylor Swift are like good friends, and Taylor Swift had come out and like said some stuff. I'm in support of Blake, of course, that kind of thing. And now she's backing off, and also backing off like the entire, I don't know if it's just the situation or the friendship but she's, withdrawn support from Blake, which is a huge thing.
That's very telling. Like that. Oh, I don't know what to think about that.
Yeah.
Because Taylor is big enough of where it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's not like she's going to lose millions and millions and millions of fans because she's sticking up for her friend.
Exactly. And she's a mega celebrity. Mega. So, and there's been some stuff come out about, not just Taylor Swift. Oh, Colleen Hoover. Okay, so the actual author of the book deleted her Instagram, her entire Instagram, after saying she had posted something about in support of Blake, something like that. And then it came out that Blake never read the book, didn't care about the script, didn't care about what it was. She was like, oh, I'm sure I'll figure it out, kind of thing. And then after that, Colleen deleted her whole Instagram, which I think is very interesting. I don't know if that's her way of like removing everything, but I think there were probably messages and DMs between either her and Justin or her and Blake or her and somebody else that she's now like trying to retract. I don't know what that looks like. I don't know what that, what the purpose of that would be, but I think it's very odd that you would do that right now.
Well, have we seen Blake Lively out of her mouth proven that it's not AI generated say she did not read this book?
I don't know. I don't know actually, because I think it was in an interview where she was talking about it. But again, I don't know that wasn't, AI or whatever, because that's crazy that can be.
It's so confusing.
Yeah.
All of it. Yeah.
And then you add in like the whole writer's strike was because of AI stuff, right? Like that was like a main protagonist or whatever in that. So I don't know. And how do you ever tell like what is AI and what's not, what's real, what's not?
Unless you have the internet sleuths that can go back and like the forensic whoever. Yeah. I just believe the drones in the sky, right? If that's what I see, I'm like, there it is. Must be true.
Nope. It's happening. Have you seen where they are? This was recent. And I've seen, I think it was Elon Musk talked about it before, but now there's another company, another startup that is trying to do it, trying to have advertisements in the sky. Yeah. And I don't know if that's like drone or projections or what, but
I bet it is, because I didn't realize, because, I'm here in rural Kentucky. We still actually light the fireworks and they go up in the sky, with the fire department standing there in case something happens.
Yeah.
But I've been told that like the bigger cities, now their fireworks are drones, like the drone shows.
Wow. I did not know.
It makes perfect sense to me that they would be advertising. I mean, think about the little planes that used to ride in the sky, and then they went to like the signs that they would pull behind them, and you would be like, "What are they saying?" 1-800 call who across the beach as you're just trying to enjoy your day.
Right. I'm gonna be so mad, and there's nothing I can do about it. But I'm gonna be so mad if in the night sky we start having advertisements.
I'm actually, now that you said that, I'm shocked it's not already happening. It just must not be cost effective quite yet.
I think there's a lot of backlash, and I'm sure there's a lot of like, because there are so many acts against light pollution because of how that affects wildlife, that I'm sure that would be a hoop or a loop that they would have to figure out how to jump through. But I'm not excited.
Money.
Yeah. If it ends up producing more money, then they're gonna find a way. Like, oh, actually, it doesn't harm the sea turtles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's sea turtles? What's a sea turtle? No, it's awful.
Yeah.
So beforehand, I had seen your TikTok this morning or last night about PCOS, right?
Yes.
And I asked you beforehand if you felt comfortable sharing that, because complete transparency, I did not know before I met you what PCOS is and all that. So can you give us a rundown of like a
let's
general
have
definition. Yeah.
yes. So Mark and Wesley and my dad, if you are listening right now, now is your time to just
Forward.
to fast forward. So PCOS is polycystic ovary syndrome, and it creates so many issues for like that time of the month, but
Yeah.
also just like everything that has to deal with like your fertility, your feminine health, anything like that. So, and this is different for every woman and every woman who has it to varying degrees, but it makes your time of the month so difficult, like intense cramps, heavy flow, like horrible, to the point to where like I take iron supplements. I like, make sure like I cook out of an iron skillet, and Wesley will cook me a steak on like the first day. So
Yeah.
that kind of thing to help. And it's really hard, like ibuprofen, Advil, and like all the regular medications just like don't even dent it. Like it just doesn't help at all. And I used to, when I was in college, I used to have like a prescription that would supposed to help with the nausea, supposed to help with the pain. And even then it still like was horrible. But in college, it was way worse than it is now. And now it's like sometimes it's a really bad time, and then sometimes it's like kind of normal. But in college, I could not, like from my dorm room, could not get out of my bed and go to like walk down the hall to the bathroom, and could not leave the bathroom. Like it was horrible, like to the point to where I would like put my little towel down in the shower floor and just like lay there. It was,
gosh.
like I would have to email my professors. That like it was truly debilitating. And last month I couldn't like get out of the bed. I couldn't make it from like our shower to our couch, like that kind of thing. It was so bad. And this is when I started taking Benadryl because it would knock me out.
Oh, I hear you. Yeah.
Do not advise that. But that's the night that me and Wesley, it was one of our, maybe the first visit. My parents like were like, okay, you can go with Wesley to visit his parents. It's a 4-hour drive.
I'm remembering this. It's so funny, but terrible.
Yeah. On the way back home, I was cramping so bad. I was like, oh, Wesley, I'll just take some Benadryls. It's fine. But I had also taken a Theraflu within that same 4-hour period. And if you don't know, those have a big chemical reaction with each other. So
public service announcement. Do not do that. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. On the way home, I was just so out of it, like trying to open the car door, yelling at Wesley. Wesley said at one point he got scared and didn't know what to do because I like stopped breathing and my lips had turned blue, and like there wasn't. Yeah. And he like tried to like fill my nose and there wasn't breath coming out. And so he was looking up what to do, like panicking as he's driving through the mountains. So, yeah. But after the 4 hours, it wore off.
Oh, my word. We need Wes on here sometime to tell about that story because it is wild. And like hearing his perspective and yeah.
Yeah. Because
I mean, it's funny now, but it was not then, I'm sure, for you all.
Yeah. I don't remember a lot of, some details of it, but there's some of it that I don't remember that Wesley will like talk about. And I'm like, that's crazy that you went through that. Like he said, I was like trying to open the doors on like the interstate and like get out of the car because I didn't know who he was in my state.
Yeah.
So, which is crazy.
And there's something about, did you lose your shoe in the bathroom or you couldn't get your shoes on or something?
Yes. So we had to pull over at because I told him I had to use the bathroom. And we pulled over at the Tennessee state line, like in between Kentucky and Tennessee. And it was like the rest area. And I like was walking in there without my shoes on. And he's like, wait, Emily, he put on my shoes for me. And he was looking around. It's like midnight, 1 a.m, somewhere in there. And he's like, these people are going to think that I've stolen this girl. I've drugged her across state lines. But I just, carried on my merry way into the bathroom. And I remember thinking it was like a maze. Like it was such a long hallway. And I remember the feeling of like, what is going on? There's stuff I couldn't see like my way through. But I remember taking off my pants. Like I took off my pant leg. But I don't remember going into a stall. I don't remember going to a stall.
Let's just say you did.
Well, here's the thing. I know I had to pee really bad, and I remember seeing a drain in the middle of the floor.
Oh, my word.
I remember just looking at that drain and hearing what I thought was like rain or like water of some sort. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. That's really cool.
He's pulling down the drain publicly and having the best time.
Had there been someone in there, they would have been like, I'm sure they would have been scarred.
I'm going to say, I bet, if Well, no, I'm going to be honest with you. If it were me and I saw something like that, I'd probably just get out of there.
Turn around. Yeah.
I would like to think I'd be like, "Are you okay, honey?" But no, I'm pretty sure at this point in my life, I would be like, "I'm gone."
Yeah. Well, I think that's the wise thing to do, especially if you're a woman by yourself.
Yeah.
Do not engage.
Yeah. Do not
So
engage.
Wesley, he kept calling my name and I kept hearing like him. And he said when I came out of the bathroom that I was like shocked and like my eyes were wide open and like I was just like,
My word.
yeah. And so he said, because when we talked about it later, he said
Mhm.
I was in there for like 15 minutes and he was getting worried and he
Wow.
had been calling my name, but was worried that there was like other people in there. So
Yeah.
like he finally just said no, like what if she's like passed out on the floor or something? And so he was like trying to go in there and I came out at that moment and he was freaking out. But I said, Wesley, I definitely peed. Talking about this later, I said, I definitely used
Yeah.
the bathroom because I didn't have to anymore. And he
Yeah.
said, he'll tell this story too. He's like, I felt so weird because I didn't want to like, harass you, but I was worried you had peed yourself. So he's like, tried to feel my pants to see if we're wet.
Oh
He
my
was,
word, that's so funny.
he was like,
Because
but
he
he
didn't
can't.
want to get down the road 2 minutes and you still have to pee. But yeah.
Right.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
that's so funny.
But he said the toilet never flushed.
Yeah.
So that makes me think that maybe I peed in the floor.
Or just sit and press the handle because
Yeah.
unfortunately, I'm pretty sure both of our states' rest areas don't have the automatic flushing.
Yeah, you're probably right. So I could
So
have
they're old
used
school.
the bathroom.
Well, you did. We just don't know where.
Yeah, we're not sure where.
But anyway, we really digressed. So
Yeah.
you just have to suffer with PCOS. Like there is nothing that can be done or
A question that they have where they're like, did the chicken come before the egg or the egg before the
Hmm.
chicken? That kind of
Mhm.
question where it's
Mhm.
like, is PCOS caused by like weight gain or does PCOS cause the weight gain? That kind of thing. So
Oh,
so like a major like factor can be like losing weight really helps. But I'm going to say this, I've lost about like 40 pounds now since like
wow.
starting. It's been a lot, but since like starting this weight loss journey, and I
Uh,
have had more, they have been regular. They have been regular. That's another thing about PCOS is you're not regular at all.
mhm.
So I have been like able to like track my cycle, but they have been worse the more weight I have lost. Like the pain and the symptoms. But I mean, PCOS is like a hormone imbalance. It's, so like you'll have like almost like man hair on your face or like really dark
Hmm.
hair that grows in. So I'm
Mhm.
always dermaplaning my face. I'm trying to think of what it can cause hair loss, like your actual like the hair that you want
Mhm.
or thinning, really bad hormonal acne. Something that I do struggle with that I have struggled with like since I got my first period has been PMDD, which is PMS but on a like disorder level.
Premenstrual disorder. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So and my mom will talk about it too. Like if she's listening to this right now, she's probably like, finally someone else has to like deal with her during her period. But
No.
it was horrible, like night and day difference between who I was as a person, like
Mhm.
during that little bit of time.
Mhm.
And people talk about like, PMS being, like, oh, I'm PMSing or whatever. But you can have that to like a level, but to the disorder level, it's just that like times 1000 or whatever.
Yeah. Have you ever tried, I'm just throwing things out because I
Yeah.
don't know, right? So don't be like, yeah, girl, I tried that when I was 12, whatever. Have you tried any kind of progesterone creams or is it kind of like, no, that's the opposite of what you need?
That's a great question. I don't know which hormones are out of whack, to be honest
Mm-hmm.
with you,
Mm-hmm.
but apparently one of the things that you can do is taking like a hormonal birth control, because I tried that
Oh.
for the first time when I was 17
Mm-hmm.
for like a week, which I know is not enough to try, but I did not like the way it made me feel. I tried it again when I was like 19. And again, the side effects are worse than the PCOS. Like I'll just, I'll deal with that instead of all of, the effects that this could cause, as well as like the added infertility with the hormonal birth control. Like I'm already struggling with that. I don't want to add on to it. So
Right.
for me, I didn't see enough relief in order to, justify using it again. But
Mm-hmm.
it,
No,
yeah,
man, we could do a whole episode on birth control and what I would do differently and, all
we
of that. And
should.
I love how women today have so many more options than like I even was aware of, you know?
Yes.
And to be blunt, you know, my mom would always say, you know, well, you came from a condom, so don't trust condoms. So I mean, I literally thought, no joke, that's what she would tell me. And she was like, so I was like, okay, if I don't want a baby, I have to be on birth control. Like,
Wow.
you know, that I was
Yeah.
scared to death to not be on birth control, like hormonal birth control, like we're talking about.
Right.
Also, and I've meant to look this up forever to see, like in women who are kind of on the other end of that spectrum and are going into menopause and perimenopause and postmenopause and all that, they recommend like the wild yam cream. Yeah, from a reputable source. And I have friends who
Really?
swear by it. If you can get it, like we have a local source. Think it's Annabelle's Table. I could actually put that in the comments if somebody wants it. Just reach out. And that's a great source. And then also Barbara O'Neill, who's originally from Australia. She is a great source. Other than those two people, I don't know that I would like run out and I would not get whatever wild yam cream is on Amazon. Let me say that. I love Amazon. I buy tons of stuff from Amazon on the daily, but I'm not going to get my wild yam cream from them without knowing the source.
So does it help with like cramping or like what does that help with?
You know what? I have heard it helps with everything.
Okay.
That's why I don't know, like if you're in the middle of, I need to do more research about like whether it helps like while you're still having your period or if it's more like for older, whatever. But I've heard it's just great across the board. Yeah. So I'm like, why not try it? Right. I'm kind of one of those people where try it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But don't take it with Benadryl.
Yeah. Don't take anything with Benadryl.
I have no idea. I'm sure it's fine, but you know, don't take it with Benadryl. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, talking about PCOS, there have been there's a handful of things that help, but I mean, there's an insulin resistance issue there too that PCOS can cause that makes it harder to lose weight. But I don't know which causes which, like if the weight gain then causes the PCOS or PCOS the weight gain. I know it affects your hormones and makes your periods horrible. There's just as women, our reproductive system, and I think with men too, but it feels more so with women because we're on a 28-day cycle instead of 24-hour cycle, like men. Your feminine health is connected to everything, or I guess reproductive health, I should say. It's just, it affects everything. Like I've got a heating pad right now. You just have to, yeah. And if I had a normal 9 to 5, I have no idea how I would function. Yeah. I really don't. Yeah.
Whew. Okay.
You know what I have found out, though, that has helped me with cramping and stuff, there are certain pressure points that help me a lot. When I am in the floor curled up, dying, in between if you're listening to this and need this, try it right now. But on your middle finger, right where your first knuckle is, if you rub that right there, it's supposed to help with your uterus cramps or, whatever's cramping down there.
Yeah.
Whatever that is. And it has helped me a lot. And right here, in between your radius and your ulna, I think it's what it's called.
And then on the outside of your forearm?
An inch underneath your wrist. And in between, right there, is supposed to help too. But apparently that point can also help if you're constipated.
Well.
Yeah, which is crazy to me. And behind your ears, underneath where your earlobe is, right in there, is supposed to help too. And it does. That with laying down all the way, on your back, and then putting your feet together so they're kind of you know what I mean? Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. When you lay down on your back and you put your feet together, the soles of your feet are touching, that helps me a lot. That specific position helps with cramping. And I don't know why, but it works. So I'm going to take it.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. Anything that can work like that. I mean, especially because you're not putting any kind of weird stuff in your body or whatever. Yeah. You're just, finding a position that works. I love that. That is great information for sure.
It's free.
Yeah, for real. My issue sometimes when I've been in pain in the past is I'll forget all of that. I almost need a go-to list because, I'm just in the moment, madder than fire at everybody in the world. And, it's what do you mean put my feet together, Mark? Get away from me. Oh my word. Yeah. So
Yeah.
you also have another really good tip about feminine hygiene products.
Yes.
That is right on the money.
Yes. I forgot about this. And this is something that I have recently learned. I have heard it, my mom has told me like, organic products. If you're putting anything in your body, you need to make sure you know where it's coming from. Well, of course, that would also apply to, down there.
Yeah.
So
we're trying to be nice to men, but if you're still listening out there, God love you.
Yeah, you're going to get it. But I have switched. I was using Playtex Sport. That was like my go-to. Like, this is the only one I will use because I'm very specific about that.
Yeah.
Because I don't like using pads or liners. Like, I don't like that feeling that it gives me. But I also, and this is, it's hard to know what's PCOS and what was like this, like using these products, but it has been a lot better consistently with I use the Honey Pot or Honey Wellness. I need to look up the name now. I think it's Honey Pot. And it is a woman-owned company, and it is 100% organic cotton. It's BPA free. It's heavy metal free. It's all these like toxin free that don't like. I would go through maybe like 2 or 3 boxes of the Playtex like supers, on one period, and I use maybe 1 box of these, and these are just the regulars, and it is night and day difference in my cramping and my blood flow. It's
wow.
Yes, and there have been studies.
Sorry to interrupt. Doesn't it make you so mad though?
Yes.
That something that simple that's on the shelf and is supposed to help us and make us able to live our lives just is so opposite.
Yes. It's supposed to, this is supposed to, the Playtex ones. Oh, you're supposed to be able to do your sports in this, and you can do your workouts and your movements, and it's like comfortable. And Playtex is one of the brands that was on this list. It is, without a shadow of a doubt, arsenic is put in them. Yes, there was another one. It's another heavy metal. I think it's aluminum, but arsenic and aluminum are, and people are saying, well, why are they putting them in here? Like, why do we need them in our tampons? And it's like, you don't. It makes, and I forget what creator I saw a post about this, but it was a woman who is an OBGYN who's like on TikTok. And she said, well, these specific chemicals make you bleed more, so you have to use the product more. Yep.
Money.
Yes. Why not? Okay, hear me out. I've got a fabulous idea. Don't include those and make the product just a little more expensive, and then you're getting your money. You're getting your money. But it's crazy. And that was something that shocked me too about the honey pot. They are the same price as the Playtex. There's like 8 in the box, 20 in the box or whatever, whereas the Playtex, like there's like 25 or something.
Gotcha.
But it's not that I don't even use that much by using them. So yeah. And they have a ton of products too. Like they've got wipes and washes and like a whole body deodorant. They've got all kinds of stuff that are supposed to be fragrance free, good for your body, OBGYN like approved, that kind of thing. While being, 100% organic, 100%, fair trade, as well as heavy metal free, BPA free, that kind of thing. So it is so worth it. If you're really struggling and you haven't, you feel like you've tried everything, because that's where I was. This is not sponsored or anything. I wish it was.
Not yet.
Yeah, not yet. But you should go check out the Honey Pot brand. And I think I think they're made in Israel.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's supposed to be like good quality stuff as well. Yeah.
Like, I don't mean to go down this road, but how in the world are we still getting them right now?
I don't
know.
know
What I mean with the war?
Yeah. I don't know.
We're just thankful.
Yeah. Very thankful. Very thankful for them. Yeah.
Wow.
And I get mine at Target.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Mark was able to find. So anyway, I have not, just blunt again, we're talking woman to woman here. I had not had a period in like a year. And then all of a sudden, January 1st, hello,
Guys.
Yeah. And so I had some leftover, like some tampons left over and stuff from wherever. And so, and because honestly, I kept them around because of you guys visiting and stuff. I was like, just keeping this stuff around in case somebody needs something.
Yes.
Well, it was very light. Like I used to have like super heavy periods, but super light, super easy, as periods go for me. And I was like, oh, this is what normal women feel like. I was like, okay, this isn't so bad. But I ended up needing a tampon and whatever. And then I got cramping so bad and it got heavier. And I remembered what you said, Emily. Mark actually went to Walmart for me and found whatever brand we have here that's organic. I don't think it's Honey Pot. It was something else. Took like an change out for me to believe every word you've ever said about it.
Yes.
And I got so mad after all the year that I had spent thinking that things were so horrible and like that my cramps were so bad, when honest to goodness, it was probably the chemicals in what I was using.
Yes. Yeah. And then you couple that with the hormonal birth control and coming off of that and that, everything that does to your body. And then you couple that with like Teflon pans or, don't eat red meat because that's bad for your cholesterol.
Yeah. Well, I'm eating all the red meat. So
yes. Yeah. And I feel
cholesterol. Yeah. Cholesterol is good for our brains.
Yeah.
Who knew? When you get, man, we could really go down a rabbit hole. So maybe we better not this time. But I am all about, removing the dyes, removing the toxins, removing anything that we don't even realize. And prayerfully, we're going to be smart enough to not just have a name change, but actually, is this chemical compound the same thing? And, me and your mom are on the same whatever belief system, whatever you want to call it, about, being as organic as possible. Do I believe that I'm going to be able to remove all the toxic load possible? No, but I'm going to give myself a fighting chance.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, it's about the balance of it too. Like you can't be so, I don't know. The older I get, the more I'm like, I remember thinking my mom was like, oh, so crazy, organic everything, organic vegetables, no whatever, added into this. I'm like, Mom, a vegetable's a vegetable. No, there are crazy differences in stuff.
Yeah.
I am one of those crazy people now.
I'm so glad. Yeah, so glad.
I still like my Febreze though. I love Febreze.
Do you really?
I do. And candles. That's going to be hard for me to give up. But
well, there are very natural candles though. I mean, you don't have to buy, I'm going to use a brand here. Sorry, I'm going to get sued. Mainstay. You don't have to, go and grab the Mainstay or whatever. You can go and grab, a Goose Creek candle or a local company that's whatever, that's better. Because I love good smelling things too. And to be honest, we are essential oil people, that. Sometimes loading up that diffuser, I'm like, good grief. I have to get the water. I'm so lazy. So yeah, I would much rather just have a plug-in in my wall. Yeah, but I just can't. I've learned too much.
Yeah. Hormone disruptors are everywhere.
Yes. Oh yeah. Feminine hygiene products, everyday food. As I'm going to go this afternoon and get my mocha from McDonald's, I'm talking about all this. So, I'm not 100% for sure.
Yeah, it's about, I think that's it for today. If you stuck with us through this episode, thank you so much.
Yes.
If you are a man who listened to this whole episode, you
know what? Your woman will thank you.
Yes.
Your woman will thank you greatly.
Yes. Your mother, sister, aunt, grandmother, woman, whoever you've got. Now you know.
Now you know.
Yeah. Well, we'll see you next week on the chat line.
Bye-bye.